All right, so outside of the normal activities, well, I guess this is like becoming my normal activity. It's like nice to rant because I'm gonna look back on these and see if there's anything that stands out that I actually want to continue working on, or something that I can use for some other project in a way. But there's a few things. So this one's going to be on UMG, sneakers, and basketball. So I've been working with Universal Music Group. I've worked with them before. Like, I think I touched base with them the first time at South by Southwest. That was back in 2018. And I just like sporadically joined a hackathon and won it there, and got to work with like Capital Music Group. So that was pretty cool. But I've really been, they have these like innovation challenges where you can kind of like talk to teams, understand problems that they're having in the music industry as a whole, and propose like solutions to those problems. So it's something I've done. I did it back in 2019, except I actually got to go to LA and like meet people. But now they're having like a virtual one right now. So I worked on that today, and we have these office hours where other industry experts, they come and they talk to us, and they kind of like give a spiel on like their particular API or industry or whatsoever, and what the problems are that they are like currently facing. So the team that I'm working with right now, they want to build, this is also a team of other like engineers, so they want to build an application that is focused around dance. So we're calling it like Dance, Dance, Dance. The big idea is it's TikTok, except it's like TikTok with GANs, like generative adversarial networks. And it enables you to like upload a video of yourself dancing, kind of doing little funky moves, and then turns that into like a whole routine, turns you into like an animation character, and enables you to dance in a music video like next to the character in the music video. I personally don't think the idea is like novel, and I don't right now like see what problem it's solving or who it's solving that problem for. But I don't even know if that necessarily is like what the important part here, because I feel like as the number of products that I've worked on and the products that I've seen be successful, and what I know about product management and building successful products in general, I kind of want to talk about that now, right? Because the idea is cool, and mostly because the engineers on the team are just really excited about these dance products, about TikTok, and about like general adversarial networks. Like GANs are really freaking cool. I think they're cool too, but I don't think, and one thing that I've noticed in just my own experience, like it doesn't make any sense to start with a technology and then build a solution. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like that is not how you build for users, and that's not how you build a successful product. But that's what this team is like doing right now. So I kind of feel like and I do this all the time, like if I'm in a team meeting and I hear an idea but I don't feel like it's fleshed out enough, instead of just saying like, oh yeah, and completely agree with it, I always try to do like a yes and. Like, that's an interesting idea, but I also think we should think about like this user group. So for instance, when I didn't actually propose this like dance idea, but like part of my background, right, like I was a part of that hip-hop community for like a pretty significant number of years of my life. So I know a lot about dance and dancers, and I have a lot of dancers who I'm in community with, right? I literally went to art school for dance. So I kind of know the way that dancers are spending their time online right now, what sort of apps they are using, and what sort of things like aren't really that interesting. Now, like AR and VR, also I've spent some time kind of like thinking about that. Like I do have an Oculus headset from F8 a couple years ago, but like not that many people are actually using virtual reality or augmented reality, or even like 3D video, right? Like that's been available on the platform on Facebook for a very long time, but people are not like using it. Like it's just not like that popular. And I think it might be because it's just like ahead of its time, and it could also be that most people don't have like good cameras or like stable internet. So that's a huge thing, right? You can't really start thinking about like AR and, you know, extended video content when you don't have basic streaming or video editing capabilities. So I think that that's just like a really big issue for my team right now. But I do think we're going to be able to like pull together and create some sort of idea around this like dance content. But I also feel like it's way too similar to TikTok right now to actually be something useful, but it's cute. So anyway, moving on. So 2 of the mentor sessions that we had today, we talked with the team from, what is it called? Overturn. Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fog. So we talked to the team from, I can't remember, Overturn, that might be the name of the platform, but it's basically like this sports platform that repurposes digital content like videos and creates like short form video content in the athletic space, but mostly like basketball. So they take like little clips from like basketball drafts and like you know, games and stuff, and then they produce highlights and they post those highlights on social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and they've created like a whole engagement community just around these short clips, because most people today are not watching entire sports games, they're just watching short clips. So right now the company's raised like $35 million, but they're not cash flow positive yet. Like they actually aren't generating any, well, I shouldn't say that. They're generating ad revenue, but like not enough for them to be like profitable. And they're on a path to try to find profitability. Now, I think this is like really interesting because I've seen a lot of companies try to enter the social media space and make their companies profitable without realizing, like, I mean, Facebook is just the king of content. Like, they own and have created the social media space. Like, TikTok is popping for Gen Z because they think that Facebook is for grandmas, but internationally, like, you guys have not seen the way that people in Tunisia use Facebook. They use it like we use the New York Times, like the way that people in Morocco, people if you're on here from Africa and you're in Brazil, wherever you are, like, I've seen the way that the developing world uses Facebook, and Facebook is king. Like, it just, all people use it like 24 hours a day, like to get their news, to connect with family and friends. Just, it's the social media like empire of fucking everything. I couldn't even imagine, even when I was a Facebook super user and I posted a lot, I still didn't use it as much as like people in the developing world use it now. So even though Facebook is on the decline in North America, in the rest of the world, people are coming online and they just use Facebook. So I just don't see how the company is going to be able to basically create like a positive cash flow, like become profitable with that particular business model. I feel like they might just get like eaten up by a new product that Facebook creates that's basically like, here are the highlight reels, and they can just pull those from content that like users post while they're at the game, even though because they're posting them right now in that like those stories features probably, but they could just have a whole news team that is specifically around like events and then aggregate the content that way, especially like when people get better at using GANs for video content. Like, it's going to be really simple to have one model of what video content for, say, a highlight reel of a game would look like, and just replicate that but for a different game. So today we also spoke with I think it's called Sneakered, and it's basically like this community of sneakerheads. Now, I've been hearing about this community of people who like love sneakers, and they have like rooms full of sneakers, and this guy like Bernard, or I think who owns the company, like he legitimately has like a whole room that's like a walk-in closet full of sneakers. Now, like I've seen the like women with the walk-in closet full of stilettos. Like, I mean, have you seen videos of like Kim Kardashian's closet or like Paris Hilton's closet, Mariah Carey's closet, right? Like these women have like wall to wall, like every red bottom that's ever come out sort of deal. And you know, people are doing sneakers too. And there's even those whole like videos from I can't recall the name of the YouTube channel, but where people are like going into those sneaker stores and then they'll spend like $6,000 or $7,000, sometimes like $20,000, like just on sneakers. And it's like a whole culture. Complex has like cool channels that are just about like buying sneakers and what it's like. And you see the videos of people like lining up outside of the stores and, you know, just really buying sneakers. And I think so. I was talking today, or I learned today, that like the Jordan brand sells $1 billion worth of shoes every year. What the fuck? Like I just, that entire industry kind of seems like ripe for personalized experiences, maybe even more content. Almost like there's fashion journalism, there could be like sneaker journalism that literally tells celebrities stories of what what one particular shoe means to them. Like, this shoe has changed my life because of like XYZ, and I got it at this particular time, and it brought me like this percentage of joy. Just like a whole story about like every shoe in the collection. And I've been pretty excited for a while about like the you know, the Clueless app, where you can like mix and match things in your wardrobe and you have like a digital catalog of your wardrobe. That for sneakers, it just seems like, you know, because like clearly like people care that much about like their shoe collection that, you know, they'd want to know every single shoe in their collection, when they wore it, when they bought it, you know, if there's a scratch, like whatever, right? Yeah. And I guess when I'm thinking about like why those things are interesting to me, I think there's a lot of ways that analytics could be used in either of those industries, specifically around supply chain and about customizing the shopping experience, like getting a better profile of the customer. That does seem to be like a very interesting space. And I'll actually go, not today, but maybe tomorrow, I'll look at the notes that I wrote when I spoke with like this one investor, John, who was talking about, we talked a lot about like CPG, right? And it was like consumer packaged goods, and how that industry is so huge, and there's such a big need for really like machine learning and analytics in that space, like, and that the entire music industry, all of the money generated in the entire music industry is made in 1 year by the smallest CPG company. And so it was like an order of magnitude type of conversation. Like, think bigger. Like right now, yes, like music is generating money, but in the grand scheme of the ways that music could integrate with marketing and sales, I didn't even think about like how much marketing and sales creates like a brand around like what sells, how it sells, how much it sells. It helps. It's like only one step in like a larger story, like a larger customer story, which is super important. And let's see. Oh, another way where I thought this could be really interesting is thinking about like personalized learning. Just because there's like you know, 50 or so basketball teams, maybe there's less, 30 basketball teams in the NBA, right? And you have all of these people trying to get into the NBA, and so few can get in. It's so competitive, but like everyone watches it, especially like a ton of like all the, you know, black male children are like watching it, and a lot of them are hoping to get into the NBA and are really just blindly kind of like consuming the content. But what if you can turn that like consumerism into almost like a production economy, where these students, these kids, these consumers, instead of just like wishing and hoping and working to become basketball players, they contribute to the NBA economy, which is like, I didn't realize how large that was either. So looking at some numbers, just one team, like the Golden State Warriors, is worth $3.5 billion. Just that one team. What the fuck? Like, so I've been helping like one of my students work on a data science project that was about like NBA analytics. So I had to do like a lot of research myself to even figure out what the fuck the NBA analytics were all about. And I don't watch basketball, I don't watch sports at all, I don't watch TV, but you know, understanding, like reading some papers around NBA analytics, and then understanding that MIT Sloan, they have an MBA program specifically focused on MBA analytics, and a conference that happens every year based on MBA analytics. And so those people are thinking about like the business of basketball, and not just like, you know, the few shot chance that you might have at becoming a basketball player. But clearly, like if one team is worth $3.5 billion and people are paying $50,000 for like one ticket to see the game, like that's nuts. That's like an industry that really, at those prices, you should have like surgical level precision with every single aspect of the experience, because we don't even have that in the fucking hospital, and shit doesn't cost that much. But people are, if you're paying $50,000, I mean, you should have like the most incredible experience that money can pay for. And I think to really like get that part, like you can really create like a whole data driven economy. There's so many products and services that could make that game experience better. And I know that, like, say in San Francisco, a lot of people are you know, really excited about the new stadium opening. And I remember, I think it was like last year, I had a few meetings in that building. They have like a restaurant up there, and we went and had dinner and had like some meetings in that space. And it was just like, wow, this space, it's actually fucking beautiful. Like I saw it and I was just like floored, like, bruh, wow, yeah, this is gonna, like, when you come to see the Golden State Warriors in that San Francisco stadium, like, yeah, you're gonna have a bomb experience. Like, it's not just gonna be like you're sitting down and you're like, you know, watching blah de blah. Like, it's going to be a magical experience. Like just being in this space and seeing like the views, the quality of the buildings and the landscaping, the architecture, I mean, phenomenal, right? Like, who's writing those stories? Like, a lot, instead of just having these like students or these kids really who have ambitions to go to the NBA, there's like all of these other careers that like these students could explore. And I think that's where I want to create more content around, instead of just like looking at these industries that exist and they make a lot of money and then being a blind consumer of them. Like, how can you actually like engage with those communities and like build shit for them and really like help youth understand like how they're built and how you too can like participate in them. Even if like you don't make money from it, it's still like a learning experience, and at least then you're not a blind consumer. And so you might be like, why is this chick posting these like weird ass videos every night? And I post them because it's a way for me to like reiterate the thoughts and conversations that I've had like earlier in the day, and like put them on tape, put them on record, but also I really understand like the significance of content creation from my own perspective. It's something that I just didn't take advantage of enough earlier on. Like, there are so many experiences that I've had that were like really dope, and I was just like living in the moment, just kind of like, whoop, I'm living my life, I'm doing my thing, I don't need to tell anybody. And then I just realized, like, shit, there are no other black girls like doing this. There are no other Oakland black girls doing this. There are no other Alivias doing this. And everybody's looking for mentorship and, like, you know, representation and all this stuff. And it's like, we're out here, we're literally like doing shit. We're not just like rolling over dying and stuff. It's fuck, like, you know. So if all these like little kids are like looking for like role models, I certainly like don't think I'm like a role model, but I am alive and I have a fucking story to tell. And I'll tell you this much, like, my story is interesting, if nothing else. It's a fucking roller coaster ride. Like, that's one interesting story to tell. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I've got for today, but even then, I think that's probably enough. So I might have some cool product updates, but I'm not going to give those today. Maybe tomorrow. Okay.